One of the things we share at the grief school is that grief is not just about death. There are 47 or more known losses that can cause a grieving experience in our heart. Death and divorce are just one of the main ones that we talk about. I've been sitting with this beautiful woman, and we've been talking about all the ways to process grief and release grief. But now we're going to be talking about the caretaking part of grief. What is it like when you have to absolutely take care of your person? Make sure all their needs are met, make sure they're taken care of, and yet have the anticipatory grief, Miss Hope, what we were talking about. What does that feel like? That brings emotions. It brings grieving emotions while it's happening, while it's finished, while it's in. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the caregiving aspect.
Yeah.
I know many people, lose their person very suddenly, accidents, heart attacks, what have you. But there's a whole population of us out here that are stuck in a caregiving role. And of course, people that lose their loved one due to dementia, they call that the long goodbye.
Hmm.
And fortunately, Jerry was not demented. He was with it till the very end. But the struggle of caregiving is just so overwhelming. And yeah, I was a nurse, and yeah, I know what I'm doing, but I'm also a human and a wife and a lover and, you know, a wife. And it was, here's this person that I've loved for 47 years, and you're trying to be brave and hang on and support him, but who's supporting you? And now we both Jerry and I have very little family left. He was truly at the end of his ancestries, Same here. And what we did have left, they live far, far away from us. So we didn't have a community of family here. And yes, we have friends and that type of thing, but it's just such a unique situation. And yeah, there is all that anticipatory grief. And
Yeah.
what was unique about Jerry is that he would decline, and you'd think, okay, here we go. And then he'd plateau. And he
Yeah.
would stay plateaued not for days or weeks, but months. And
Yeah.
then again, all of a sudden, down he would go, or he'd lost weight, or you think, okay, this is it. No, 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 we're not there yet. And this went on for 2.5 years. And this painting here is the tornado.
Yeah.
And it speaks not just to caregiving, but it also speaks to the actuality of death and the grief that comes with that as well. But I painted this probably, oh my gosh, within the first year sometime. And I just, when I painted this, I remember it very, very well. I was feeling very helpless and both physically and emotionally because you're exhausted on every level
Yeah.
and there's no relief at all. And it's not like and God, I don't want this to come out wrong, It's
Oh,
not like after he dies, well, now I can't go to bed.
right.
You couldn't do that. Okay, you got to get up, make sure he's got what he needs to start his day, help him to the bathroom, so you just never get to rest. And then
Oh,
people would say the same stuff to me during caregiving as they do when you're grieving. Well, you just need to get out. You should just go down to Monterey for 5 days. It's like, I can't do that in all good
no.
conscience.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
what if he dies while I'm gone? I
Yeah.
would never forgive myself.
Right.
I mean, I trust other people to take care of him, but and then you also have to remember this was a big part of what was going on. We had just come out of the lockdown on the pandemic, but I felt extremely paranoid about, well, just going out to lunch somewhere
Yeah.
because what if I get sick? the
Yes.
whole house of cards is going to collapse.
Right.
Who
Wow.
is going to pay the bills and
Right.
answer the door and feed the dog and then make sure he's okay?
Yeah.
Or what if, you know, I come home and give it to him? I,
Yeah. Yeah.
he can't survive even a
Yeah.
cold, let alone COVID or a flu or what have you.
Right.
So I felt
So you kind of
very,
got trapped in the
I
caregiving.
sure did.
Wow, Miss.
And, it was just, it was the strain, a constant strain for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And yes, our daughter would come, but she couldn't stay for months. She would come for 4 or 5 days at a time. And uh, I mean, I went through that with my own mother. She was far
Yeah.
away. I couldn't come and just stay, give up my job and run and take care of
Right.
her. So it just puts you in such a unique position. And it was like when you see that little drip over to the side at the
Yes.
top, that was an accident. I had just dripped some paint on there. But then when I look at it, I think that was like life is leaking beyond my control.
Yes.
And I intentionally use these, whoops, sorry, that's my dog. I intentionally use these ugly colors because I'm clinging to the side of this
Yes.
tornado, just trying to hang on to exist physically, emotionally, spiritually. And then so I'm clinging to the tornado, but what's coming up out of it is just ugly. I
Yes.
couldn't find anything pretty in life. And
Right.
then you have all these other little tornadoes spinning around you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta do that. And I don't know. You're just hanging on for dear life. Those fingers are strained, they're gripping, and you're just the whole time you feel like you're losing ground.
One of the things you shared at the beginning of this, which I think is so fabulous, this picture, is that the grief that comes after the caregiving ends, right?
Right.
And I just jotted down one of the reasons is because you're living by the clock, right? You're in the middle
Yep.
of the tornado, you're living by the clock. Okay, time for the shot. Okay, time for the bath. Okay, the nurse
Yep.
is coming. You live by the clock for 2.5 years.
Yep.
Everything about Jerry was a calendar and a clock,
Yep.
and that ends. That calendar and clock ends. That's number one. Number two, your job ends.
Yep.
So even everyone was like, go to Monterey. You didn't pack a bag and just get up and go because now it's like you're also grieving the end of your job.
Right. And I think I expressed to you earlier too that okay, by the time he died, I was so emotionally spent and
Yeah.
exhausted.
Yes.
And now I got to deal with the grief of his death. And
Yes.
it's like, I don't have the energy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, my body and my soul said, yeah, well, we got a better plan. You're going to do it whether you think you can do it or not.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
I think I surprised myself that when he died, well, here was the conundrum of the whole situation. I needed it to be over so bad,
Yeah.
but the only way it could be over was for him to die. So then you're so conflicted. I didn't feel guilty, but you're just so
Oh,
conflicted.
conflicted.
And then I thought when he would die, it would be such a relief, but it wasn't. It wasn't at all.
When my dad was sick, he was sick for 7 years, not on hospice for 7 years, but
Right.
7 years with prostate cancer. I remember praying to God to take him.
Yep.
And there was this short window where I had this relief. And then immediately I went into the regret and the guilt,
Yep.
praying for
Yep.
God to take him and the relief of all of that pain that went along with it. So yes, it is conflicted feelings. And yes,
Yeah.
your job is ended. And yes, because I could imagine, Miss Hope, you're in this tornado, but you were jumping to the next tornado and the next tornado
Yep.
and the next tornado. You're riding them all out as the caretaker.
Right. And again, just like after your person dies, they're there for you in the beginning, but then the longer it goes on, they're not there
Mhm.
anymore, you
Yeah.
know? And like I say, they're pissed at you for not just going and having some fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, why are you pissed at me for loving and caring about this
Yeah.
man?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be real honest here. There was a point I remember saying this. I wish Jerry was demented
Mm,
because if he had been demented, I could place him somewhere and get out
yeah.
of this hellhole,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, who wishes for that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I love your honesty there because your mind goes in so many different directions. I mean, I
it's the
literally
truth.
stood at the end of that hospital bed and prayed for God to take my dad, take him out of the pain is what my prayer was.
Right.
And then he dies, and it's like almost like I thought, wow, my prayer was so powerful. It had nothing.
Right. You never know. You
You
never
never know.
know.
I will say again, and I think I said this earlier in one of the other videos that you and I recorded, is that having somebody from the medical field be there and guide you made such a difference.
It
Made
does.
such a difference. And that,
But, Sharon, here's something I want to make a comment just in general for people that might be in this situation or anticipating this. They think, and now I knew better because of my career, but they think, well, home health or hospice, they're just going to come home and take care of whoever. And it's like, no, the
oh,
nurse would come once or twice, as he got sicker and sicker, she'd come twice a week. But she just comes once a week to organize and direct his care. And then the caregiver, she comes for half an hour to an hour to, well, change his bed or help him in the shower. They're not here 24/7.
right.
And that is a big misunderstanding by the public. And
Yes.
then and I feel so sorry for people that all of a sudden, oh, here you go. Good luck,
Yep. Yep.
And
So
oh, sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead. But with my dad on hospice, the nurse came once a week. The doctor came, set him up. The nurse came and the head nurse came and set him up. And then the nurse came once a week. And the lady came to bathe him once a week. So that was like
Right,
half of a morning, right? Where she would
right,
change the sheets and she would do all the things. So in the middle of that, we hired someone to be with our mom 3 days a week. So our mother wasn't exhausted. We paid
right,
for that. So we had somebody come in three
right,
days a week to do that. We had the nurse who came once a week and the bather came once a week. That was it.
right.
I'll tell you something else. My parents have 5 children. It took all 5 of us to do the round the clock care that was needed because if our
Yep,
mother got exhausted, exactly like you were sharing, Miss Hope, we were going to be in trouble.
yeah, and
She
that's
would get sick or get exhausted or couldn't do it, we were going to be in major trouble. So our
right,
job was protecting her while she was
right,
protecting him.
right. And that was the biggest issue for me is that I just had no family
Yeah,
support.
yeah,
And here's a problem being a nurse. I'm going to call out my daughter. And I forgive me. I don't mean this in a mean, nasty way, but recently she said to me, "Oh, you're fine. You're always fine." No, I'm not. I'm
yeah,
not fine. And
yeah.
we did talk about it, but
Yeah.
everybody thinks that. Well, you're a nurse. You're fine. You know
You're
what you're
fine. You
doing.
got it. You know what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not human. You're a
Yeah.
nurse. No, I'm human. And my husband is dying,
Yeah.
And uh, and she did clarify that when we talked about it, she goes, "Well, you're very capable." And I agree with her. I am very capable. I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but that still, and I came to realize recently working on the grief of his death, there's this whole 2.5 year period of grief
Yes.
that I've never had a chance to talk about it or work
Yes.
through it. And
Yes.
again, it's, not just, it's the same kind of grief, but for a different situation. And that
Absolutely.
I lost my life.
Yes.
I lost what I do. I
Yes.
lost all my contacts, all
Yes.
my friends, and my, now that's a life that got really changed. So I don't know if maybe by the time Jerry died, I was already been through that part of losing myself that I was kind of used to it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Very interesting. And each and every person's grief is unique, and so their
Yep,
experience will be unique. But also, Miss Hope, how many times have you been in the live and people have typed in, "I took care of them. I'm no longer
yep,
taking care of them." And you know what they're saying? Show me the tornado. That I'm in the
yep,
tornado. I'm in
yeah,
the tornado. I don't know how to get out. That's literally what grievers are saying. I don't know how to get out of the tornado. Can you help?
right. And I understand that.
Yeah.
And so when he died, it was a different tornado.
Yes.
I was out of this one, but now I'm in another one.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think I'm not trying to downplay anything, but I had, again, more room, more breathing room once he was dead. I could not eat or eat. I could just go lay down. I could just be by myself,
Yeah.
which I never got to do as a
Yeah.
caregiver.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to also say as a caregiver, Jerry was a veteran, and we have a wonderful VA here where I live. And we did get a lot of support from the VA
Wow.
that people wouldn't get, and my hat's off to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Couldn't have done it without those people.
Thank you. Beautiful share. Beautiful share.
Okay, this one was a surprise. So I did uh we, like I say, I got extra support from the VA outside of the hospice people. And a wonderful young lady would come on Fridays, and she just did such a good job that I would take, some hours to go out to the art studio. And so I was in the middle of doing some kind of geometrical abstract, and for some reason turned it into a cityscape. And it was like, oh, that's different, that's unique, blah, blah, blah. And then that was the end of that. And then I go back and look at it later, and it's like, holy cow, what is that on the right? Do you see that figure?
Yes.
You think that didn't freak me out?
Oh, yeah.
It was like, well, I didn't paint that, I mean, I didn't put that figure in there.
Who is he, Hope?
Well, that's a good question. And I used to say, is that death looming? Death coming? Death waiting?
Yeah.
And then this is the strangest thing. Okay, so, obviously I'm elder, and I grew up in the 50s, and my dad used to always wear the big heavy overcoats and a hat.
Yeah.
And I always think of my dad when I see that figure.
Yeah.
And it's like, so did I paint my dad? Is
Yeah.
like dad there waiting for Jerry because they were very close and had a good relationship. That figure to this day, I don't know who or what it is or who he is. Um, I don't know. I just that it's always freaked me out.
Yeah. I definitely saw the overcoat and the hat for sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. But I asked you who it was because I wanted to know if it was death or not.
Well, that's my original thought
Yeah.
that, but death looms over all of us,
Yeah.
the entire city. And I also think the lights, now they're painted in the kind of yellow I like, but
Yeah.
they're not real vibrant, those lights,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. The
They're
town is dark.
Yeah, and
Town
very,
is very
again,
dark.
subdued. And
Mhm.
I thought it was interesting, and I'm still pondering this, is that there's no bottom to the painting.
Yeah.
It's like everything's oozing down.
Oh, yeah.
There's no street, no
Yeah.
sidewalk. And it's like, I'm sure I could find some psychiatrist somewhere to tell me what the heck that means, you know? But it's like, well, and it looks rainy to me, dismal. I don't know. I just, but at the
It's
same point,
very anticipatory grief, my dear.
yeah, I can see what you're saying.
She's very anticipatory grief. Something is coming because in
Yeah,
the distance is a bright, the yellow, which I talk about, right? In
right.
the video where there's, you can see something on the horizon, but right here, something is coming and he's here. And what
Yep.
is he here to tell us? So very, very interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I actually really love this painting.
Oh, it's
It's one
gorgeous.
of my favorites,
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, but it's kind of spooky too.
yeah, yeah. And I love that we were looking at it and we're coming up with it because that's the favorite part to me. Is that, yeah, where does this town go? Who is in this?
Yeah,
Who did he
right.
see? Right.
I mean, when I look at it, kind of makes me think of New York City for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. He
Um,
actually gives me comfort. He doesn't scare me. Does he scare you?
the figure?
Yes, ma'am.
No, he doesn't, but I'm
Yeah,
used to death too,
yeah,
so death, I don't want to die. I'm not looking forward to dying, but
yeah,
it doesn't scare me either.
yeah. It doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's really interesting since Jerry died. I'm good. It's like, yeah, I'm ready
I'm with
because
you.
he's going to be there for me.
I'm with you 100%. I
Yeah,
go with you like that. The fear of dying is not anything that I hold on to anymore. Um, once Sharon, Austin, Donovan, and my dad for sure. Um, not that I'm doing anything, not that I'm jumping off, but if it
right.
happens, it happens. I totally get it. One of the things about caretaking for me, Miss Hope, was that, especially for dad, was it was a way for me to give back. It was a place of honor. It came out of a place of honor, which I would imagine one being a nurse that is it's there for you, but being the wife, was there
Right.
was there it comes from love, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, you know, um, as a nurse, but as a human being.
Yes.
Okay. Back in my early career, I did labor and delivery. So I was there for lots of babies. And every single birth to me, and I'm not a religious person at all, but every single birth was such an amazing spiritual event. I never got tired of it. And it was such a privilege to witness a birth. But I also have the same feelings about death.
Yes.
It's a beautiful process if it can be. Not all death is beautiful. It can be ugly, but to me, it's just as much of a privilege to be with someone upon their death as it is when they're born.
I am so with you on that 100%. I'm so glad you said that. One of the things that really stood out for me was the energy in the room when my dad was passing, number one, number two, but how the stress of the death left his face,
Yep.
how his face, even these little lines right here by the eyes, they smoothed out. His
Yeah.
face looked like he went back 25 years. It was like
Isn't that something?
I was standing up by his head, everybody, and I was like, all of a sudden I looked down and I said, "Oh my gosh, you guys, come and look at his face.
Hmm.
What's going on?" It was like the stress of the
Oh,
death
excuse me.
just like left his
Right. No, I understand. And I hope people don't think this is gory, but I do have pictures of Jerry after he died.
Mhm.
And then, like I say, we did the termination process, and I had to ship his body to Washington State to the company we had picked, and that's a whole nother story someday. But so I have pictures through the whole process, and then pictures after he got there because I needed to see that he was there and he was safe and sound, and you know. And that's the one thing that stood out through all of that is he just looked like he was just sleeping. He didn't look scared or anxious or like it was just so peaceful,
Yeah,
And it's like, thank God for Jerry because he struggled so much his whole
yeah,
life. and with his emotions and the PTSD and all that. And I just thought, oh my God, maybe finally, he's at rest. And I
At
mean,
rest.
at a psychological, emotional rest,
Yeah.
you know?
Beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, one of the things that um, I share is that moment, with my dad.
Mhm.
I think that it really helps me. I think, Miss Hope, I think that there comes a time where we got to start normalizing this and we got to start talking about it. We got to start sharing about it because until we start talking about it more and more and normalizing it, hey, girl, look, as far as I know, unless you know another way, there's only one way out of here.
Oh, nobody gets out alive. Not at all. Nope.
And so why do we not talk about it? It's the biggest taboo
Yep.
subject, and everybody's going to go through it. Everyone's going to grieve,
Right.
and everyone's going to die to get out of here. But we don't talk about it. And so
No.
you said, and I'm going back to where you're saying, I hope this doesn't, freak anyone out.
Yeah. Well, because it could,
Yeah,
But,
but we need to be
I
able to talk
was
about it.
thinking back when I was little, and now we did talk about death in my house. We just did. But do you remember back in the 50s and the 60s, when a movie star or somebody would die and they would never say how they died or what they died of? It was
No, no, no.
hush, hush,
Oh,
hush.
oh, no.
Yeah,
No, I don't remember. I don't remember that. I just remember, um, well, for me, like my parents kind of acted like it was just like it happens, death happens,
right,
right? But you can't do that when it's so close to you. When
right,
Austin died, they wanted to have that same persona. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I need to do some of the grieving thing for sure.
right.
I'm going to go
No,
into the next picture, but I
sure.
want to talk to you about having the photo. So after
Okay.
you explain the next one to us. Thank you, love.
Well, I'm sure you can figure this one out. And it's the same thing with grief after death. This is how alone I felt, like I was
Yeah,
stuck on this island
yeah,
out in the middle of nowhere.
yeah.
And again, it's kind of deserty looking, and it's kind of odd because we don't have islands in the desert. So, uh, but yeah, and and again, I didn't sit down and intend to paint this. I was just sat down and started painting, and it's like, yeah, well, that's what came out.
Yeah,
And so yeah, I'm in that island somewhere all by myself,
yeah.
and I
So
can
many,
see the
so many
shore,
people
but
saying that, right? Saying,
yeah,
um, I'm all alone, or they feel all alone, or no one's understands what I feel. No one
right,
gets it. And part of it is this, that
right,
the moments that we need the people that need to support us are no longer here. And we
yep,
do go onto the island by ourselves. We put ourselves on the island and they put us on the island.
yep, yep.
Both kind of happen, um, for sure. But part of the island is on the shoreline here. So I wonder, like, at some point we do walk off the island?
Oh, you have to,
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
to.
yeah, definitely.
And we've talked about this in our grief sessions and what have you, and how how grievers are so angry at people that that they haven't reached out to them, that they
Yeah,
cut themselves off from those people.
yeah,
And personally, I can't do that. And
yeah.
I said to somebody, that person still has value in my life,
Oh, yeah,
even though they weren't here for maybe what I needed or what have you. Well, maybe my expectations are too great that they can't meet those expectations.
yeah,
I don't know what's going on in their head. Are they afraid, or this is how they deal with life? And so you should deal with it that way too. Or I don't know. I think, am I too forgiving to people?
no, but if we start getting rid of the people, who's really going to be left, right? That's
Right.
number one. Number two, they don't know what to say. So it's
Right.
our job to also help them. Hey,
Right.
friend, that wasn't helpful.
Right.
But you know what would be helpful is this, or
Right.
that was not helpful. I didn't like that, but thank you. So helping people, having the conversation, normalizing the grief. That's one of the things that I'm really on a kick about. It's like, let's
No,
start
I'm with
talking
you.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
let's start
But
talking.
don't cut off your nose to spite your face, as they
Yeah,
say, you know?
yeah. So one of the earlier art pieces of art you were said, I don't know if this is going to be morbid to people, but I have some photos. Grievers have choices, right? They have
Right.
choices. Taking photos is a choice of the griever. And I will share with you that at one point I was talking to Austin, talking about Austin, and my brother-in-law thought I had taken photos. And I was like, no.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
also, I had never heard of that, people taking photos at an event. And here we are 10 years later, and he walks up to me, he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he goes, I want every picture you can get.
Aw. Oh.
Donovan's service, because he's like, I parts of Austin's service just left because you're not in the moment.
Right.
It left
Right.
his brain. And so from Donovan's service, there were beautiful photos that were taken, and he okayed them because he wanted them.
Right.
And still to this day, I can go back there and I think they're so beautiful. Yes.
Right.
But I think taking photos is the griever's choice.
I agree. And like I said, because he was so far away from me, it
Yeah.
wasn't like I could just drive over to the funeral home
Yeah.
and, and hold his hand one more time or
Yeah.
whatever. And it was, I don't, put them on Facebook or send them to
Oh, of
everybody,
course. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did ask our daughter, do you want to see these? I have them. And she said no, she just wanted one specific, and I respect that. And but I've never erased them off my phone
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. I agree with you. I believe
Yeah.
it's up to the griever. It's their choice whether they would like the photos or not. And, yes, do not I've actually seen people now put the funeral on Facebook,
Right, right. Well, that
putting
I
the
couldn't
casket.
do,
They're
but
doing all of that stuff. Yeah,
right,
I don't think I could do it either. But after COVID, we had to go live with some of the funeral services, right?
right.
So time,
Well, his
right?
memorial was over Zoom
Oh, wow.
because we had people all across the country,
Yeah,
not just here in the city we live in.
yeah, yeah.
And so if people were going to participate, which I was honored, I was amazed at how many people came to his memorial on Zoom,
Wow.
you
Yeah,
know.
beautiful.
Oh,
I should have been naming each one of these because I called this one Grief Island.
well, that's fine with me. It doesn't have a name. You can name it. Okay, this one we can't see the whole painting.
Okay. Oh,
It's only given me a portion of it.
okay. It's too late for me to fix it now, my love.
Okay, all right. Well, this is interesting in that throughout the whole caregiving experience, like I say, a lot of times I would do what I call watercolor doodles because I just couldn't paint, I couldn't come up with an idea. And it was very calming to me. And like we were talking in the last segment of just pick up a pencil or crayons or whatever, that's what I was doing here. I was just picking up a brush, dabbing it in the paint and making marks, just mark making. And I had pages of it. And you can see in the center, that's all pen work, all those
Yeah.
little circles and stuff. And then I did have the opportunity to take another class online with a gal out of Houston, if I can remember her name, Susan Giantamo, or I think is her name, don't quote me, who I really, really like, and has some very interesting ideas. And so I was telling her, I have all this watercolor doodles, and she goes, you should just tear those up and make a collage. And so I did. And so it looks pretty in a sense, but it's not. There's so much emotion in this collage. I look at it as a lot of push and pull
Yeah.
and disruption and like different conversations of me, of, conversations I'm having with myself and pieces of that. And almost like the breath marks of caregiving. and how fragmented it all feels.
Yeah.
And but I was still there and I was still making and breathing and using colors to express myself. And I think there's a lot of survival energy in that collage. Let me look at my notes here. Yeah, I just, the biggest part is I was stretched thin, so thin emotionally. This is all I could do was just make marks on a piece of paper. It.
Okay, I think I got it.
Do you? Okay.
Yes, because I went back to I'm all fooling around while we're doing the show.
No, no, that's okay.
I went back to the text you sent me. I was like, oh no, Sharon, you got half the photo missing here. So, and as you're describing
Okay.
it, it makes so much more sense,
Right.
right? So I want to put all that in there. Okay.
So the one in the center.
Yes. Let's see if it will stay. There
There
we go.
you go. There's the
Yes, I
whole
was able to
thing.
fix
Yeah.
it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So like I say, these are tons and tons of just making marks, squiggles, lines, you know, and then tearing up all these papers. And I remember doing this collage, tore things up, and I just picked this up. I was not looking for, oh, this should go here, that should go there. I just was gluing shit on the paper. And this is, the brain, I swear, knows what it's doing, even though you don't think you know what you're doing. And I don't know. It's just,
Miss
it
Hope,
shows,
this one is grief time.
yeah.
You know,
But I,
they tell you to give it time, right? They say, "Oh,
right.
just give it time, you'll feel better." And you were
Oh,
like anything to try to make yourself feel better, going to do, let me doodle here, let me do there.
right,
But what it shows is what you do within time.
right.
It's what were you doing within time? Sometimes it was painful, sometimes it was confusing,
Yep.
sometimes it was bright, sometimes it was dark. It's like what you did within time that made a difference with your grief.
No, it was, I love this collage,
Yes.
and oh, I don't know. It just, like I say, I was just so depleted
Yes.
that that's all I could do is make a line.
Yes.
And I don't know. It's just the whole thing is like an emotional paradox.
Yes.
Oh, I should frame this piece, I think.
I was just going to ask you if she was framed.
No, it's not.
She's
But
absolutely beautiful. Okay, tell me about your signature though, because your signature is out of sight.
oh, it's actually on this painting. I did not put it on the bottom.
No, it's
It's
on the side.
on the side
Yeah.
because I
Did
didn't.
you work on
Oh,
it and know how you wanted it for the
well, this is the one thing when you have an abstract like this, which way are you going to turn
yeah,
it? And um I had looked at it from many viewpoints, and I actually liked this position because of the dark lines pointing up from the bottom,
yes,
so that leads your eye into the artwork.
yes,
So that's why I decided to show it this way. And then I did not want my signature to interrupt the painting itself.
yes.
And so I put it along the side. So, it's my signature and my artwork, but I don't want my signature to stand out. I want that piece to stand out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I love your signature is absolutely beautiful. It's powerful, very powerful.
Thank you.
Okay, my friend, I we can share one more. That's it.
Okay.
We got time for one more, and I am going to open up the screen, and you pick the one you want it to be,
Okay.
and we'll go from there. This has been such an amazing, powerful, powerful time together, and I just want to say thank you so much for all that you've been able to teach us and help us with. Okay, so here we are.
Okay. So these are random paintings that I did over the years for different life situations. So they're all very different. And I can get through some of these rather quickly, but the one that probably we should talk about the most is that big red abstract.
This
Uh, this,
here?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I'm gonna show these real quick on the screen.
Okay. This I did real quickly when I had breast cancer, and that's after George Harrison's My Guitar Gently Weeps, and that's my soul weeping. And this one, I just, life situation, I felt the life was being sucked right out of me. And so that's me with a bunch of straws in my head and everybody's sucking on them. And this one is just how bad your heart can hurt from
Yeah,
life in general. It has holes in it and stitches in it and band-aids and tears and
yeah.
yeah. And then this one, again, it was a life situation, which I won't go into, but it was very, very painful and very hard grief experience. And it was not a death experience, but a grieving experience regardless.
This is fantastic.
This is a very old painting I did, has nothing to do with grief at all. It's just, I don't know, when I was going through all my paintings to pull out what are we going to look at, and I came across this old painting, and it's like, I love that painting.
Yeah,
It's so calming to me.
yeah.
And I just keep going back to it over and over and over
She's
again.
beautiful. She's
Well,
beautiful.
thank
And
you.
she fits in the collection.
Yeah.
She
And then
definitely
again,
fits
this
in
is
the
just
collection.
another calming uh painting. And yeah, it's still in the wrong view there, but it's okay. It's just just a painting I made up in my head, nice. Water's always very soothing to me, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
All right. Do I have all
Okay.
of her here?
Huh? Yeah, I think the
All
whole
of her.
thing
Okay.
is there. Okay, this painting is very, very significant to me. It's a big painting. It's what's called a half sheet of watercolor paper. So I don't know. It's a big one. And again, I was taking a class and oh gosh, my brother had died and I had been very, very sick. And we lived across country and I could not be there with him.
Mm.
And I did, and there was a lot of family issues playing into the whole thing. And our younger brother, God bless him, he did go and take care of our older brother and was there when he died. It was just, it was a mess, Sharon.
Mm.
And so this painting was many years after that. And again, it was just, I had it in my studio for years hanging. And and I kept looking at it and looking at it. And again, it's colors I don't normally use, colors I don't normally care for. And then I was in a different art class and I can't remember why the subject of this painting came up, but an art friend in the class actually said, "Oh my God, you should see this painting. It's the most vile thing I've ever seen." And I mean, she really kind of hurt my feelings. I mean, she was brutal about this painting. And, but then, after you calm down and you think about it, it's like, okay, what is she seeing in that painting? I need to really dissect this painting,
Yeah.
you know? And I showed it to a few other people, and other people go, oh, I love, I like the red and all that. But I have sat with this painting for years. And then I realized this is about Butch. That was my older brother's nickname, which, by the way, Sharon, my dad's name was Jerry. My brother Butch's name was Jerry. Then I married a Jerry, and my stepson is Jerry. So there you go. Too many Jerrys. And but anyway, to me, when I really look at it, this painting is so full of pain and
Mm.
hurt and frustration. It just slashes in it. And I remember using a big brush and just slashing this stuff on it. And it's like forces colliding. Um, it's very disruptive. I was very, I think, overwhelmed with emotions that were stuffed down when I painted this piece. And it's like grief that had nowhere to go.
Yes.
And I'm just really, probably because of all your classes and what have you, I'm starting to figure this out, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. My dog is barking.
No, I didn't even hear him. I
Oh,
have
okay.
I have a question for you. I absolutely see that in here. I see it. I feel it. I sense it. Very emotional, very honest, and very beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
My final question for you is number one, I want to say thank you. I see all of your artwork moving so many people. I can see all the videos that I'm going to make. I'm so impressed by all of this. What do you want to say to the griever? What do you want to say to the woman? What do you want to leave her with?
Oh my gosh. Just, I don't know. I'm here for you. You're here for me. We can do this.
Mm,
And we each take our own path, but our paths cross.
mm,
Again, I hope someone can look at a painting and go, yeah, that's how I feel. I'm angry too. Or, oh my God, I can't look at that. It's
yeah,
too hard to look at. Or, yeah, that's no big deal. I don't care. I mean, everybody interprets art their own way.
yeah,
And I have no problem with that. But maybe it would help them to start a discussion about their feelings.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. Yeah. I think I agree with you, Miss Hope, because we don't know what path they're going to take and what journey they're going to take. We just,
Right.
their hearer is here. They see something, and I agree with you. Even if they say, no, 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 that's not for me, they're at
Right.
least willing to look.
Yeah.
And that's how we have to be with our grief, at least willing to look at it.
I would totally agree with that
Yeah.
statement.
Yeah. I want to leave the show with this. I'm so proud of you. I'm done. I didn't
Oh,
even know you were
Sharon.
this, but you show up, you talk, you help the other women.
Oh,
You're one of the women in the group.
bless you.
I will say, Sharon, can I interject here? You respectfully interject. Hey, maybe it's this. You're using your grief to help others. You're a shining light. You're a shining light.
Oh, Sharon, my God, thank you so much.
So
Could
true
make me
in your
cry.
heart. And I, more than anything, I want to leave you with this. Thank you for letting me get to know Jerry through your eyes and through.
Oh, absolutely. I can talk about him all day, every day. Don't bother me.
Yeah,
I just, hope he's happy wherever he's at and
exactly.
waiting for me. And when I get there, better be there with a bouquet of red roses.
And a room with a view, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And a bottle of champagne.
Yes. Thank you, my love. Thank you.
Oh, I love you, Sharon. Thank you
Thank you.
for
I love you
all
too.
the help you've given me through this. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Awesome.
All
So
right.
powerful. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.